good people. Welcome again to the Authentic Wellness Hub. My name is Julie. Today we'll continue with our series, discussion on the gut. And before we continue, I'd like my team to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Lisa Kuyaya, Mama Almasi, and I'm a phytotherapist. Karibu.
Hi everyone, my name is Lily Okeo, a mental health practitioner and a hair and skincare specialist.
Karibuni, thank you. So we'll continue our conversation about the gut. And today we are specifically talking about the gut and our immunity. A very interesting topic and a very significant topic. And first, what is our immunity? We know our immunity is our body's ability to resist and to fight diseases. Alafu gut will remind you what our gut was. Our gut is that organ from our mouths to our stomach, our small, our large intestines, all the way to the rectum. So we want to see the relationship between our gut and our immune system. So now the interesting thing is 80% of our immune cells are found in the gut.
Yes.
And that makes the gut a very prominent part of our bodies, a very significant organ.
Yeah. And to put it in perspective, just imagine a school bus. Eldoret Express, your size. Our gut, the distance from here to there is the same as that one for the school bus, Ama Eldoret Express. That just tells us how God in His wisdom put something so long, yet so important in this very tiny space. Isn't it? What do you think, my dear?
It's interesting. And I think it's, God must have been a scientist, you know.
He is, yeah.
Like, he puts that and then he makes sure when food enters your mouth and you know you're doing nutrition and that's nutrition for your wellness. We don't eat so we can be full. We eat so we can boost our immunity.
Yeah.
We eat so we can have the energy and stuff to live your day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And why the gut is that long is because of the function that gut does.
Yeah.
The gut has a very critical function as an immune organ because you know that the gut has the largest mucosal membrane. You know the way like in your mouth there is a mucosal membrane, but it's so tiny. But the gut has the largest in our body, and that membrane is the one that when you eat food that is contaminated, it's the one that will filter out anything harmful that you've eaten from entering into your cells, into your bloodstream.
Wow.
And that is why the gut is so important. It's such an important organ. And it plays a huge role in ensuring that we maintain a healthy lives and our immunity is also high. Yeah, so I really fancy the gut.
Yeah.
So before we even go further, I want us to talk about that ecosystem. The ecosystem you're trying to describe, the microbiome. Before we go that far, let's talk about our kettle, because our kettle will be very important in understanding the way it functions and how that ecosystem functions. So Lisa, tell us some more about our kettle today.
So today, our kettle has kefir probiotic drink, and we have sprinkled some fruit. So kefir is a probiotic. A probiotic is those friendly bacteria. Then we have prebiotics. Prebiotics are what feeds those friendly bacteria. The prebiotic can be something like apples, baobab powder, asparagus. That is what is needed for the probiotic, the friendly gut bacteria to survive, to thrive, and to take care of your body. So cheers to our very healthy drink. Yes.
So as we talk further about our gut ecosystem, okay?
Yeah.
We know that there are trillions and trillions of microorganisms in there. There's bacteria, there's fungi, there's parasites, there's viruses in there. So let's talk some more about that and how what we feed on, what we put into our bodies, work with that in that ecosystem to either serve us or to harm us.
You know, even before we delve further into that, you talked about having 80% of our immune cells in our body. You know what those cells do? To those trillions of microbiome in our body, they sample. They know this one is good for us, this one is bad for us, and they learn. The gut, the microbiome in the gut, these are living things in our gut that either eat the prebiotic, as Lisa has told us, and when they eat, they multiply to make sure that you're not losing certain defense mechanisms or certain bacteria that is good for your gut, because there are certain bacteria in our gut that actually break down essential nutrients and even help synthesizing of hormones that protect us from different conditions. So you find that these cells, after they have sampled between the harmful and the beneficial organisms, they learn to eliminate the protective cells, the immune cells. They learn to eliminate what's bad and then retain what's good. The prebiotics, as much as they also feed the probiotics, their foods rich in fiber. They also help with movement of fecal matter in your gut. And did you know that when you do bowel movements, it is directly equivalent to estrogen detox? Did you know that?
That's why it's very important to have to
Make
go
sure
to
you
the
go for your
bathroom.
number twos.
Yeah, it's very important.
Just go.
Yeah.
Because you're removing excessive estrogen.
Yeah,
excessive estrogen leads to a lot of diseases.
Yeah.
Imagine when you have excessive estrogen, like in women, you can develop fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, PMS, mood swings. And then in men, you'll find some men even start to develop bodily changes that look like women.
Yeah, guys, almost man boobs, basically. Yeah. Yeah, that is lots of estrogen in your system. So really, if you are supposed to go, something that the body has already called it waste, let it go. Yeah, and many times because of the diet we are eating, it doesn't have a lot of fiber. You see someone ameng'ara tu vizuri, but amebeba poop 400 grams. You can imagine, almost nyama nusu kilo. Yeah, and you know what that thing does? It continues to poison your system. So go to the bathroom, eat very well. Yes. What do you think?
It's true. When it poisons, you're building toxins.
Yeah.
When there's too much toxins and there's too much an imbalance in the microbiome, it can also affect your pH, the foods you eat.
Yeah.
If you eat foods that break down to become acidic, like too much meat, again, it creates an environment for disease to thrive. Remember in some previous episode, I told you guys, your cell pH should be at about 5.5, about 6.5, sorry. When it comes lower, then diseases thrive. And when toxins build, you have a whole kilo festering in your tummy.
Imagine.
You are reabsorbing toxins.
Yeah, poison.
And again, if you're not eating foods that help with your mucosal lining, which is the biggest barrier for immunity, you are also creating a condition called a leaky gut syndrome. So you start developing food allergies all of a sudden. You start developing autoimmune disorders. You start reacting to foods that you wouldn't normally react to if that lining was normal. So it's very important to find, to realize how important the gut is and to find ways to also support that and a way to balance your microbiome.
Balance. And I'm thinking you've already mentioned so many conditions just by talking about this gut and the imbalance. You've mentioned so many serious conditions that we hear every day. We hear about every day.
And you know, the gut is just beautiful. Yeah, that ecosystem, it's also the seat of the emotions. You can imagine, like women say, nimesikia kwa tumbo. Yeah. And you feel something, that is intuition. So this gut is also the second brain, as you had said. And again, another interesting thing is that digestion can also start in as much as it's the second brain, but digestion also starts in the brain. Yeah, because you think about food or you smell food, then you start salivating, prepare, and then the mouth is prepared for digestion. So the way the gut and the brain are connected using that is it an axis or what?
Yes,
yeah.
the gut-brain axis.
Yeah, because of all those neurons and all those transmitters in there, it's just amazing to look at it. And the brain, the gut is also very knowledgeable. It knows what is good and what is not good. And that is why when you keep giving your body, your gut, bad things, it will fight and fight. Siku moja tu ina give up. Yeah. And that is where your immunity is. You had mentioned 85%. You can imagine 85%. So what are we eating? Yes, because many diseases can stem from a bad gut. Yes.
So there's been so much conversation, people talking about matters regarding the heart, I mean the gut, and there's been a lot of myths that have come with it. For example, maybe let's bust some myths. Detox. How many times, how frequently should someone detox or not detox?
By the way, on the matter of detox, the body has natural mechanisms to detox itself. That is why you have a kidney, that's why you have a liver. All these things are supporting your gut to eliminate even that fecal matter excretion, even how you filter the solids from the liquids. The body itself is detoxing itself. So sometimes you might have ingested poisonous things, then you need, of course, to remove the toxins from your body. You can use medication sometimes, but again, do not overuse antibiotics. When you overuse, it removes the good bacteria and you'll have to rebuild an ecosystem. I believe in moderation. It's good to detox from time to time, but in moderation. Too much of anything is also not good for you. And it doesn't fix things for you just because we've done something today, we've binge eaten, we are on a fast.
There are people who actually eat badly and say, tomorrow I'll detox.
I'll detox.
That is wrong. Drink on a drinking spree, then the next day I'm going to detox.
Or I'll do a 1 month juice cleanse. Imagine you're denying your body the different foods it needs to balance the pHs. And you remember the pHs? Diseases. So when you put yourself on a juice cleanse, you're basically on an alkaline diet.
For
where
a month.
is the acid that you need? Where are the minerals? So it's important to have a balance on how often you detox. And just limit yourself from also living a lifestyle of eating however you want, drinking however you want, whenever you want, and then thinking you'll fix it with one detox session.
So how should someone know what would be the signs for poor gut health? How should someone know that there's a problem with their gut and they need to now adopt a good lifestyle for their gut?
Bloating, lethargy. Others can have hormonal imbalance, kufura tumbo, acidity.
A very simple way is sometimes when you eat things and you start reacting to them, you just know you have a problem with your lining. Another way is when you eat certain foods and then you start feeling like a reflux of acid. That's also another way. You find people saying, oh, niko na ulcers, niko na acidity, niko na whatever. And it's not that, it's self-diagnosed. And then also autoimmune conditions. PMS, PCOS, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, all these things generate from your gut. For example, your beef gives you B12. If you are not eating or if it is not synthesized properly and you're not digesting B12, then it also affects your thyroid functions. You know, and that's a whole other topic. And then you find all of a sudden you used to eat eggs without any issues. Then all of a sudden when you eat eggs, you have acne, you have rashes, you're reacting. Mental instability, lack of sleep, mood swings, all these things are associated with your gut. Remember, fear and anxiety, you feel it first in your stomach even before your brain has told you you're feeling fear. Your stomach, you feel diarrhea, you feel butterflies. So these are just some everyday symptoms. If you find, you've talked about bloating, there is everyday bloating which is normal, but there is chronic bloating. You're bloated throughout. That's a very key symptom to watch out for. If you're having all of a sudden a bout of diarrhea or constipation, those are things to watch out for. They tell you there's something off with your immune system. Pain, literally when you just feel pain in your stomach. tells you there's a problem with your gut. And when I say stomach, I don't just mean up here. Anywhere around the abdominal area tells you have a problem with your gut. Yeah.
So how would we, when all is said and done, how would we, what would we do to have a healthy gut or a healthy immune system? Once we relate the gut to the immune system and how significant those are, what are some of the things someone should do to ensure that you have a healthy gut?
Diet. Know your food, know your farmer, eat organic food, healthy food, diet, nutrient-dense food. Yes. And I keep emphasizing, know your farmer. Because when you know your farmer, where your food is coming from, you will get something that is healthier. Out here, you wouldn't know what is being sprayed on that healthy food you're eating. But if you can get organic food, which will support your health, that one will really help your gut. Yes. And if you eat healthy, nutrient-dense food, you introduce probiotics, prebiotics, you support the ecosystem of the gut. Yes, it will be very helpful to you.
You know, as she's saying it, I just realized today this conversation has been so interesting. We forgot.
I had mine.
So I've just introduced some probiotics. The other things you can do, remember, movement helps. Don't just eat and sit. Don't sit behind a desk 8 hours. Sometimes even get a standing desk. If you find your work is behind a computer for too long, have a sitting desk and a standing desk. So it allows you to move and allows movement also to happen, bowel movements to happen.
Yeah.
Sleep sufficiently. When you have enough sleep, your body works with enough sleep. The ANS takes over, the automatic nervous system. And then again, stay hydrated, because we cannot forget water and its role in keeping that ecosystem again in a balanced way. And then minimize processed foods and refined sugar. Because sugar fuels inflammation. Inflammatory disorders, they feast on sugar. So if you can minimize refined sugar, because anyway, all our foods at the end of the day are absorbed as sugar for energy in our cells. So everything is broken down to energy in different forms. So just take what is there.
They used to say alcohol is good for the stomach, but it turns out it's not the case when it comes to gut health.
Trust me, not just gut health, even for your mental wellness. From a psychologist point of view, no amount of alcohol, research-based, science-proven, no amount of alcohol is good for you. Keep off alcohol, all forms of alcohol. It's not good for you.
So on this very significant topic, Lisa, what's your bottom line?
Your body is very intelligent, and your body tells you. You know, the pH in the mouth is different from the pH in the stomach, from the pH in the small intestine to the large intestine. So when you take something or you go to the bathroom and you realize that unachomeka huko, know that things are not good. When you discover that you're having a lot of acidity, things are not good. Just introduce healthy food. Get kefir if you can. Research says kefir has more than 50 good bacteria. And when you're saying good, they are those friendly bacteria, the microbiomes. Then you just add in some prebiotics to feed it. And you are happy. Your gut is happy. It is very intelligent. And your body will tell you what it's good and what is not bad, what is not good for you.
For me, I'm finding, before we say yours, as a farmer, I always view these things as a farmer. And I'm looking at what you said about the probiotics and the prebiotics. And I'm relating the probiotics, like you said, to seed. The probiotic is like a seed, and the prebiotic is like a fertilizer that activates it. And how they work together and how they are so important for us to consider them and use them together. Then again, about that ecosystem. The ecosystem we've talked about, the microbiomes. and a garden, a healthy garden, for it to thrive, especially a natural garden, you need it to be, you need a biodiversity.
Yes.
You need all those microorganisms working together, the bugs, the parasites, and so on, working together to make that garden thrive.
Yes.
And the same thing with the gut.
Yeah.
You need all those microorganisms together with what you put in, working well together for the good of the gut, for a good immune system.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true. I think for me, it's just I would agree with what Lisa is saying. Learn your own body, master your own body, know what works for you. I was just talking with a lady friend of mine. She's like a mother to me and their daughter. So yesterday we were talking how for me to open my gut, when I want to open bowels, I use slippery elm, renda, mito to open. But when she takes those, it closes. So for her, she takes dragon fruit. Then the daughter takes ugali. For me, ugali closes. For her, it opens. So just learning your body is very important. Do not overuse antibiotics. Homa kidogo,
Exactly, antibiotics.
Umekatwa hapa, antibiotic.
Surely.
You're just creating an imbalanced ecosystem in your stomach. So learn your body, love your body, treat your body like the temple that it is. And it will serve you for longer. Because outside of this body, there's nothing, none of your dreams will go beyond the existence of this body.
Exactly.
So treat it with the utmost respect and love. Yeah.
And did you know that? Yeah. Did you know that even when the baby is born, when they are going through the birth canal, they get the friendly bacteria. Yeah. Which will help them navigate life here better. When they are placed on the breast, they are getting those good bacteria. So don't be killing the good and the bad with antibiotics. Yeah, this over the counter, you just go at Sijui Mara Nini, as she says, and you get antibiotics. It's not good. You let your body fight off some of these diseases, because you know the purpose of the what is it called? The immune system is to fight. It's the first line of defense. Just I grew up in the barracks, so just imagine mwanajeshi. Kuna adui is coming from this other side. Then your first line of defense. So if some bad bacteria is coming, your first line of defense is your immunity. Alafu wewe ndio huyo, friendly fire bacteria. The good bacteria and the bad bacteria, they are all killed. So let us be wise. Let's listen to our bodies. It is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Let's take care of it. And by taking care of our body, we are glorifying our God in heaven.
Wow, that's beautiful. Nice topic, and how you relate it to what makes sense to you. So I think we've come to the end of today's conversation. Next time we're going to talk about, we're still going to continue talking about immunity and the gut and hormones. But for now, we'd like, if you have any questions, please ask us. Subscribe to our channels. It's always nice hearing from you. Asante sana. See you soon.